All right, everybody. Let's see if this works. Test, test, test. All right, we're golden. Alright, I'll be starting the stream shortly. We got this internal buy side taken, so we're just going to continue to monitor this order flow. Definitely not taking anything like right away. And we got news at 10 o'clock, so we're going to monitor that news with the new home sales that comes out. So we'll watch price action, and we'll see if we get something this morning. I just said 9:30 on there. This is 9:20. All right, let's get going. Market's about to open here. Gun to my head, we're still gonna go bullish, but no trade setups after this initial one already set up after the news came out. Did the SMT at the lows, and then we ended up shifting structure, and then bullish order flow on the way up towards this internal high we had here, which is right here. So hit this internal high. Now I want to monitor if we continue to dig deeper into this bearish fair value gap that's up here, or if we just want to pull back and take out all the buy side liquidity, then maybe we get something within here to continue to buy up. Or if we just get a continued power 3 move, which would be nice as well if we continued down on through to get below this midnight open. So trading's all about if, then, what. And then basically where's the draw on liquidity. If we're bullish, draw on liquidity, obviously higher here, internal, and then the external liquidity up here. But if we're bearish, where's the draw on liquidity? All these relative equal lows that are down here. So I want to wait to see what order flow wants to tell me. So I'm going to get everything off my screen. Let me just explain this one trade here first, though. So when the news came out, we traded down, took out all this liquidity, and we also came down below here on ES. So if you notice, all this liquidity here taken out on ES, down below here, but we left these lows here on NQ. So that's bullish SMT. So that means we're looking for buys. So internal liquidity here and also here. And if you measure out your range from the high to the low, we're up in a premium. So we wanted to see price target up in the premium. Where's the liquidity above here? We got here, here, and then possibly up there. But now that we're in a premium, well, before that, we can look at the bullish order flow. We had the order block here. We shifted down into this order block. We came below this fair value gap. We inversed that fair value gap here, but we had a higher time frame the higher time frame PD arrays of the order flow going higher. So the order block, and then we shifted up above this 1 minute inversion, retested this volume imbalance, and then we traded up higher. So if we're going for 20 points, it'd be right before that liquidity anyway. So it would be taken out right here. So this was just a good tape read. We also had the SMT and these wicks as well, which is another confirmation for me, where we had a lower low here on the wicks and a higher low. So that's something I don't teach. Well, I don't see anybody else teaching. So that's just something I found out myself, and then I continued to use it. I back tested it, and I have tons of examples of where the wicks of the SMT works. So just want to keep that in mind. So that's what I look for in almost every trade, even the trade from yesterday. I can bring that up real quick because I know I'm still waiting for a setup. I'm not trying to get in anything right before the news anyway, but I'm going to pull up my screen from yesterday from Power Hour. So really, this. So we had the wicks, the SMT at the wicks on the low. We also had the SMT here. So once we traded lower, we came up. Notice this. This 1 minute wick, lower low. But notice how we made a higher low here. And we had our inversion closure on a 1 minute, and also there was a 2 minute inversion closure as well here, which is best to wait for NQ to have that 2 minute inversion fair value gap closure right there. So that's where I entered, and then just took it up to here, and I talked about it on my Twitter as well. You can see this last trade I had here. So hanging out with the dogs too. So yep, there we go. That's just another example. It happens every day. Well, mostly every day. So yeah, so like, what are we getting now in the market here? Let's pay attention. What are we getting? So we got to keep asking ourselves these questions, like, where are we on the higher time frame? Okay, if we really want to focus, let me pull up the injecting logics, but we really gotta focus on where we are in the higher time frame. It's always time. What time is it? Which is 9:34, so it's market open. We're in the opening range, so we can find a setup possibly. And then we got to get the narrative. Like, where's the narrative on the higher time frame? Like, what are we going for? What are we reaching for? If we spend some time on the daily, we're obviously going bullish. You're a moron if you don't think we're bullish. Like, looking at this price action, it could flip around, which is true. It could just flip around. It could fold over, but we need to wait for more confirmation. But until then, this is kind of stupid to be bearish right now. We go to the big three, all three of them side by side. Take everything off the screen so you kind of see this order flow. So we're moving higher. We're tapping daily volume imbalances, and then we're continuing to move higher. And there's that wick SMT that I was mentioning before. Lower low, higher low, and it just continues. So it's same shit every day, you know? And you may not have ever seen that before until I just mentioned it, but as ICT said before, you don't know what a deer footprint is until someone tells you. Like, you're not going to know. So it could be like that kind of concept. But anyways, we're rejecting out this 4 hour for value gap, and we're starting to move higher. And notice how we're making a lower low. So 1, 2, 3, move right there. Sometimes I like to look at the RSI to see if we get divergence on the RSI. That's like the only indicator I like to use, unless it's like the NWOG indicator. But we're not getting that anyway. So that's why, because that didn't even like show divergence. So this bullish move didn't even show on the RSI. So like that RSI is just kind of bullshit, to be honest. But anyways, going down to, let's go back to the 1 hour. So we're taking out the swing high here as we tap into this fair value gap that's up within here, where this massively bought up and then just sold off big time. So we have these relative equal lows, and we got to pay attention. Do we want to go bullish, or do we want to flip back and go bearish? So I'm really paying attention to what's happening here in price action, and what are we getting? Are we getting SMT? Are we getting a rejection? So basically, the trading plan is liquidity taken, and then it hits a higher time frame PD array, and then we got to get in sync with order flow. It's really the simplest concept ever when it comes down to trading. So I'm paying attention to that. So what's number one again? It's taking liquidity. Where's liquidity? Okay, we got liquidity here. We just taken it. We hit a higher time frame PD array, which would be, you could say, this order block. All right, from here up, same thing here. Go to the 1 hour. This fair value gap. So now, liquidity taken, in sync with order flow. Higher time frame PD array. This fair value gap, this low now. Looks like we're gonna go hit this low and continue lower, but I'm not gonna be in this trade. I don't trade this early right after market open, even though I can still predict price a lot of the time, but I don't want to do that right after market open. And I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but I know I thought it, but we have the lower high and the higher high, so we have SMT here. So that's indicating that there could be a potential sell-off, but we don't know how far. But since we're so bullish, this is kind of like yesterday. We had SMT at the highs yesterday, but we were so bullish we bought up on the higher time frame. So I ended up taking the 1 minute buy in the AM session, But we also we had bullish and bearish SMT. So like, what do you do? Like, that's a question I always had. Like when I learned about SMT, when ICT started teaching it. I don't know if it was like last year or the year before when he made it public, but I didn't know like which one to trust. And it comes down to, you're not trading patterns for pattern's sake. You're trading the higher time frame narrative, and then you implement the patterns. Just because we have bearish SMT at the highs doesn't mean we have to take the short. We need to wait for a lot more confirmation. And what you got to be like come in peace with is like understanding your emotions, like the FOMO, the fear of missing out. And then like you might want to enter. Okay, you see the SMT, you see a potential low that we could reach down to. Okay, like right now, we could reach down to here. But you might have that FOMO to want to get in. But who's to say the market can't come up here and then give us a setup? And then maybe we hit the high one more time here as we make a lower high here, and then we get a shift. Like it could do that. That'd be a higher probability than shorting right now. But we could also get another swing low. This could just sell off and give us something like this. Who knows? And then shift up higher. I'd rather take that buy to come take out this internal liquidity. Like, that's why I got to keep asking myself, am I in a 50-50 market or am I not? You know, and really going over, it's a book like The Mental Game of Trading. That's really helped me out big time. But it helps with like a lot of like injecting logics. I'll bring that over. So like these really help me, these statements. If you have like a problem with like hindsight, you got to realize the 9:30 a.m. Adam is not dumb because he did not have all the information that the 4 p.m. Adam has today. So if it was clear at the 9:30, Adam would have taken advantage of the situation. I couldn't see it any other way in the moment. So, and then if you find flaws like in hindsight, go back and review your emotions, like journal your emotions. Like this fear and the FOMO gives me energy to redirect my focus on my systems and processes. And by doing that, I go to the higher time frame and get the bigger picture of my overall confirmations. This avoids the tunnel vision, focuses more on my systems and processes. So going through that and really understanding the whole emotional side of it, it's not about trading at that point. Like I spent, I think like 3.5 years just focused on trading, but now it's like I need to spend the next year just focusing on my mental game. So this has like helped me very, very much to basically stay out of the market and also be in like when it's time to be in, you know? Like this sideways movement in the bearish SMT might have people like really wanting to get in right now. No, it's not loading. Come on. So we got news in about, it's like 19 minutes. 19 minutes or so. And I want to pay attention to all of our PD arrays. So let's go over here. You got a 2-minute fair value gap. So if we come up above that, we could inverse this to possibly go long again. That could just be taking out this internal swing low in this 5-minute fair value gap. I also want to mark up our opening range. I didn't do that yet. So we opened here, but we closed here yesterday. Let's give us our opening range from here. We also have this big opening range from the previous day as well. This big one. And that's the high of this box that you're going to see. And that's what we're bouncing off of right now. And we're going to see if we want to come down to the 50% or if we want to come all the way down here. And also, here's the midnight open. If we want to come down below the midnight open, giving us the power 3. So we're going to see. But we hit the buy side. We'll see if we'll come back down. Let's see what we get here. A lot of sell side down here. Did I say buy side? I don't even know. A lot of sell side down here if it doesn't want to start to reverse. But nothing's giving me high confirmation yet. There might be. You also got to think about this. Like sometimes you might have a friend or like other people that trade similar to you might be in a trade, but like you're not in it. You can't feel that way. You got to know your setup when you see it, and that's why you got to journal all your wins and your losses. You know, You got to journal your wins and your losses and really just go through all of them and understand what you're looking for. Because someone else might be in a buy in all this chop or a sell, and they might win, but you're not in it. Like, that's okay. You got to be happy because that means you're focused on the outcome. Whereas you got to be focused on your systems. You got to focus on following your process. That's what it comes down to. All right, let me get this back up. So I marked up the opening range on NQ. I'm going to mark it up on ES real quick. So we're starting to fold over. Go down to the 30-second. So we got a 30-second inversion for value gap here, and we're closing down below it. Notice how we're using that as resistance to take out this low. And we could possibly come down below this low and keep folding over down this way. So I want to pay attention to that as we work possibly down below here. We also got to pay attention, look, a lower low here, but also a higher low right here when we're taking out internal liquidity. Let's say right here. So this is something I just like to observe, even though I think we could still go bearish. But I just want to observe to see what's going to happen. Does this reject it or does it go bearish? Because these bearish candles are getting a lot of people in to go short, which it could just still go down, but it's not according to my plan. We had 2-minute inverse right here. We never hit this higher time frame low, but we're bouncing off 50% of that opening range from the previous day over here. So if we go over to the big three, all three of these here, like what are we getting? So higher high, lower high, but a higher high. And then we made a lower high here, but we made a higher high here on YM. So that's basically indicating that we are still bearish. And it's looking like that might play out to be this way. You got the 1-minute volume imbalance here on ES. We'll see if that wants to resist price to send it lower or if it wants to continue higher. I don't want to get stuck in those lower time frames though, but it's looking like this wants us to continue down. So notice how we just reacted off of that. We got 20 seconds left on this 2-minute. So if I draw out this 2-minute inversion here, you can see how we're really just reacting off of this. It's like that. Let's say right there. I'm not taking this, but I'm just going to observe to see if we want to reach down lower. This is like too far into this whole discounted leg here. This whole range. Even though we took out the high, we had the SMT. But I just want to observe this. We got news in a little bit, so I'd rather wait on the news. Because this could just bounce right back in. Especially since we have bullish SMT here. And we're hitting 50% of that opening range. Did we just take out that 15-minute low? No. No, we didn't. So I'm really just paying attention. There's a clean order flow right there. That's what I'm talking about. So now we took out this low. So even if we were in this trade, this would be at break even. That's why it's not even worth it. Where like before I used to enter trades like that because I'm like, oh, we're gonna go take out this low, reach down into here, and it hits it, and then it instantly comes back to break even. Like this is just experience in the past few years of just watching order flow. And the 4-minute is looking pretty bearish. Take out the high. Liquidity. Where's the liquidity at? That's always like number one here. There's a lot of liquidity down here. And we got 12 minutes left in this 15-minute candle. Like, where does this want to close? Does it want to close like it is now? Does it want to close bearish or up higher? I don't know. Okay. Just drawing out more PD arrays. So we have a 15-minute fair value gap over here. That could act as a possible inversion. Let's see how that is being respected here. It's obviously not being respected for the bears. And like I was saying before, when we are so bullish, it's hard to want to go bearish, even if we're taking out internal highs. We did hit this for value gap there too, in this one. So we got that 15-minute fair value gap. Get that off. I'm gonna put this 1 hour on. So 1 hour is stronger. So now that we're back on the 5-minute, what are we getting in price action? We traded up. We had the high taken SMT. We traded back down. Made internal liquidity. Slapped it twice. Okay. See how it slaps that twice? We made a lower low here, but a higher low here on YM. We got to pay attention. We did have news at 8:30 today. So those are data lows. We obviously took out 1, 2, 3, 4 buy side. So, well, 3 liquidity pools and then shifted. And everybody that was buying was trailing their stop like here, here, and here, so they got smoked out. So it's not a surprise to me that the ones that are trailing their stop here got smoked out. But now everybody that's short here wouldn't surprise me if we come up and hit them out. And then we shift back down to hit everybody that's still long here, hit them at break even. Or trailing their stop below here. That wouldn't surprise me. So we got relative equal highs here on ES. Okay, we had the SMT that we were just talking about. Let's go to the big 3 again. Let's look at these wicks. What are we getting? Like I was mentioning earlier, look at the lower low here and equal lows here. I would expect this to keep ripping up towards these equal highs now. Especially if we get this 1-minute IFVG. That just happened so damn fast. We got these equal highs here. Back above this 30-second. We're about to close in about 4 seconds here. So 1-minute IFVG, we got a volume imbalance here. So do we hit this volume imbalance here and then go long? Or do we just go hit the high right now? That all happened so fast. That's kind of how price is moving right now. Lower low. Curious to see if this wants to continue just to rip. Just gonna watch this. See if we want to get up to the high there. We got news in 9 minutes, so I wanna wait. Unless we go hit that high now, and then the news. So like this could just like manipulate people before the news, and then it could go higher. So we're tapping that 1-minute volume imbalance here that we were talking about, and now it looks like we're gonna trade off that low. So wicks on the 30-second now. So let's see. I wouldn't want to enter this on an eval. That's the thing. I wouldn't want to right now. I'd want to wait for the news. Like that'd be breaking the rules to enter right now, even though no internal liquidity really got taken. I want to pay attention to that. So we still got bullish SMT here. This could still just chop around for a little bit. I do want to pay attention to this. So we got this 3-minute order block on NQ. So we're watching this order block here. If we draw out this order block, it's a bullish order block. We got this volume imbalance here. And we got these equal highs that are sitting up here. And we traded down into a discount, taking out internal lows. So this rejection block's about to get hit here. So order block came down to this rejection. Let's go to the 5-minute. I want to see how the 5 minutes looking. We got all that rejection in this area. We could still keep coming down. I'd like to see what's really starting to happen here with... It's just chopping around because I feel like it's because of the news that's coming out soon. We're very close to this high. We just hit that high there. So now that we hit this high, it's very likely that this just pulls back now. Still just want to keep watching. 6 minutes left. That's the reality of trading, guys. Chilling. Yeah, those equal highs are still fire. We hit that rejection block. 30-second IFVG closer on NQ. Yeah, this thing looking like it's gonna rip. So like right when that IFVG closed here in the 30-second, we had all that bullish SMT. And it's got all these equal highs here in NQ as well. Just out of sync right now. Look at that 5-minute closure here on Dow. It's digging very, very high up into this area. But these are holding lower, so that's a low probability condition. When these are just completely ripping on up and through, that's a low probability condition. And that's ripping up, but these are still pulling back. I don't really trade DXY. If I can pull up DXY. So DXY just took out liquidity, then it started pulling back. So if we continue to pull back into here, the other one should go higher. We'll see, this is just chopping around. Alright, we got 3 minutes left. Yeah, do you guys see why that's low probability? Now look at that 3-minute. We just closed bearish. Came up, rejected that 3-minute. We just closed bearish. So in something like this, it's just best to tape read. A few minutes left. I doubt much will even happen. It's just a yellow folder with like home sales though. We are our macro too. So our macro, notice when our macro started here, it gave us that SMT and these wicks for it to start moving a little bit higher. And then it just used this volume imbalance for retest. It only moved 2.5 points. We're still holding this volume imbalance, but I don't like how this wick closed. We'd need to close up about 50% of this wick if we want to continue long on this. So right about here. 49.18. But I am liking that we're trading down to a discount here. Maybe one more swing low down to this 50%. More chop, maybe one more swing low. And we'll see if this wants to get inverse or not to these highs. So I'm really just paying attention here. But obviously, let's go to the 15-minute. Like, who are you kidding though? If this closes bearish like this, which is probably going to. It depends. Let's just wait. We just need more information at the end of the day. That's all we need. All right. What's going on? Pay attention to this 1 minute for value gap. We got about 28 seconds left on it. How do we close on this 1 minute for value gap? Try to do a discount. So notice how we held up here. Try to do a discount here. Okay. I really want to pay attention to that and how we decide to close in this area. We're still rejecting this volume imbalance. This 3 minute for value gap here on ES with equal highs. Notice how we're just pulling away from that. We never closed that inverse. Notice how that closed right here. Pulled right back down. So I need more information. Home sales are pretty good. 664,000 home sales. Holy shit. Volume bounce. 5 minute. Volume bounce. I don't know. I'm just thinking like this sell off. And if it's going to buy back up, everybody's like, oh, it might keep selling off now. So like, part of me is thinking it wants to just send it up. See now, look at this 1 minute inverse here. So, what do we got? Low. Just made another lower low here. I just don't like that we're in a premium here on YM. Even though we're just so damn bullish here on YM. And we just hit the 4-hour rejection block on YM. Or we just played off this fair value gap. I don't know. For me, it's personally hard to read right now. Like, it's kind of mixed. Like, this 30 minutes pretty bearish. This is looking bullish, but we're in this PD array where we could start shifting. Or we just hit this high here. It's looking like this could start shifting as well. So I don't want to force anything for a buy. Gun to my head, looks like we're gonna start shorting. But even then, it's not, for me, my trading style, it's not high probability right now. I think it could still go either way, but mark up our PD arrays though. So bearish order block. So we're playing out that bearish order block here. We got data lows, which is right there. Which just looks like that's what we're targeting now. Let's go to the 15-second. Order block. We got these down close candles here. Breaker. Just tap this breaker, sending it down. We'll see. I'm not entering anything here. Like I was saying earlier, like if we tap low, we could shift up higher, but we got these data lows from the news. So that could be a potential target. And then possibly even lower. But I don't trade order blocks like this, to be honest. I feel like I'm definitely more of like a reversal guy, where this is more of like a... I didn't get my clean setup, then we have the news, and then this right here is more of like a continuation. But if we were to reverse, I would have liked to see this 1 minute close here, and then just continue up to these highs. Okay, we just tapped the data... I think we just tapped the data lows. Hang on, let me get this off my screen. Yeah, we hit data lows right here. Well, bam. Let's go. So we get this 30-second inverse right here? Yes, we do. So let's see if this wants to keep up to these equal highs now. We hit the 30-second inverse. After hitting data lows. So I just want to watch this price action. Like, what do we get here? The relative equal highs. Go over here real quick. We got a lot of relative equal highs up within here. We just happen to hit the data lows, and we still have that SMT. So that's really like what I'm paying attention to, is these relative equal highs up here. And overall, in the higher time frame, we are bullish. And we'll just pay attention to what do we get on these candles. Like I was just saying, I'm kind of like a reversal guy. So I want to watch this order block now. I know we have that bearish 3-minute order block. But we also have this 1-minute order block. So I want to see if this 1-minute order block really wants to hold price or not. Because we did have this 30-second inverse that I was mentioning earlier. If we mark up 50% of this order block here. So let's just watch this price. Let's see what happens here with ES too. So we shifted up higher. We pulled back into a discount. Okay. Fair value gap. We had our SMT. We had our data lows right here. 8:30 when the news came out. Now we're continuing to rip on through. Okay, this is looking pretty good in my opinion. I don't know about you, but that's a 1-to-1 right there. And let's see if it wants to continue up or not. That's the real question. We got, what time is it? 7? So we got this order block, PD array. If it wants to go bullish, it's got to rip through that. But we could also just come right back down into this. So TP1. Boom. Very clean. Let's see if we just get a continuation. I got one contract on this. I'm just looking for these relative equal highs. We're either going to get it or we're going to get break even. That's really at the end of the day. So I got one contract on this eval. Yeah, I'll bring it over. Let's see if we get this high taken. I'll close it right when we get here. How about that? Right when we get to this high here. Did we hit that high or we just make equal highs? We just made equal highs. So we hit that high here on Q though. Let's see. If we smoke that high once more, I'm getting out of it. Or it just hits my break even, whatever. I don't really give a shit. Nah, but look at these equal highs that are up there though. So we're smoking this high. I'm leaving that shit up here actually. I'm waiting until those equal highs here on ES are hit. Once we hit these equal highs of some sort, I'll close this bitch. Alright, we hit the highs there. Oh shit, I must have closed it on me. Alright, anyways, that's good. Hell yeah. Nice little move. 582. So, we're about halfway to passing this account. So, hell yeah. That was a pretty smooth move in my opinion. Nothing too crazy. Nothing crazy at all. But I'll go over why I even took that trade. And yo, what's up Carson? You took that thing too? Maybe? You should get that money. Yeah, it was a nice little move. So I took that little buy this morning. So I'll go over why I even took that trade. So we came up and we pulled back. We had all these relative equal highs that were up here. I was looking at this data lows. Once we hit the data lows, so what was I saying this morning? It's always, number one is always liquidity, which was here, okay? Number two was number two. PD array, what's a PD array here? We're in a discount, okay? PD array is data lows, 830 level. Number three, sync with order flow. What do we got? Lower low, higher low. Simple. And order block. Inversion. Alright. Equal highs for drawing liquidity. Stick with the damn plan. That's all you gotta do. Like I was saying, I was looking for this for the buy over here, but I wasn't taking anything. The news came out, which sent us lower, even though we had this order block. Whereas before, I used to feel a ton of FOMO. But not gonna lie, I did have some FOMO in not catching the short. But I know if I stick with my plan and my systems, I'll be fine, you know. And if I miss the move, then that's fine. I don't give a shit. But based on this, just me following my plan, made a win. So pretty golden. Nothing to worry about. So now what's going to happen? That's the question. I'm kind of interested in the short now, to be honest. But since the higher time frame is just so so bullish, it could still go bullish. So like, I don't have a bias right now. Just like over here, I was like talking about the buy or potentially going higher to these highs or these equal highs here based on this 2-minute or 1-minute volume imbalance here. I was looking for these highs. It wasn't met. It traded back down. So like I was wrong in that. So whoever was in a short right here from this order block they could have locked in however many points that's according to their plan. Just because, like, I was saying I'm looking for a long doesn't mean I'm getting in a long. So someone short could have locked in 4.5 points or whatever. And that's pretty solid. But I just decided to wait for the long that set up a little bit after. I think I won this damn trade because of my Starbucks coffee. I think that's it. That's the secret sauce right there. Starbucks cold brew. Low calorie, high caffeine. Let's go. Another one. All right. So now I'm going to screenshot this trade. So let's go to the 5 minute. Let's start on the 15 minute here. Noticing that we still had bearish SMT at the highs. I want to mark this up. This is all for my notebook now. I don't know, it was like, you just gotta be satisfied too. I'm just like thinking now, you gotta be satisfied with like, that trade was over 1%. Just that one trade. And yesterday was a little less than 3%. And that means I'm at about 4%. Okay, within 2 days. You really gotta think with the bigger picture. Or like last week, there was like not many setups. But if you ever get like $1 million of funding and you make 4%, can you be happy with $40,000 within just 2 trading days? Like, holy shit. But yeah, can't focus on the outcome though. It's gotta focus on the process at the end of the day. The money doesn't matter. Blowing accounts don't matter. Growing accounts don't matter. It's the process that matters, because that's really the only way you can really judge yourself is by the process. Like, if I broke my rules and won this trade, if I broke the rules and won it, I wouldn't be happy because I didn't follow the process. I'd feel guilty in a way. But since I followed my rules and I took a win, I'm only happy because I followed my process. But if I lost this trade and I followed my rules, I'd still be happy with the process. And then I'll be unhappy with the outcome, but then I gotta correct myself by saying the outcome doesn't matter. And I gotta realize, since I follow my plan, this is a series of probabilities over the long term. So the more you tell yourself that, the more it just gets engraved into your brain. So this is how I journal my stuff. So this is 10 a.m. macro. So outcome was a win. Model 30-second inversion. I'll go long. I'm just gonna type SMT. Well, bearish SMT, but over time frame SMT to there we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Type that up. Put in some screenshots here. That's really all I do. So much easier to see it after the fact. And this thing, it's like looking at it now, this is just bullish order flow into this mitigation block. So it's looking like we're just going to keep going higher. We got these relative equal highs. We're overall bullish, so you just got to pay attention to that. So now we have this 2-minute closure, as well as this order block now. And actually, propulsion block, as ICT likes to call it. So let's see if we get down exactly to it or not. Just hit set this and rip. So, if we're going to go long here, there needs to be 3 PD arrays that need to break to get stopped out. We would need to get below the order block. Okay. And then we would need to get below this breaker, which would be right here. All right. And then what else could we find here that we need to get below? We could say this 1 hour inversion. No, that's not 1 hour. It's a 15 minute. This 15-minute inversion. So something like that. So I need to go below all those PD arrays if it was gonna go bearish. So once the third one's taken, you're screwed. And this is still a nice long in my opinion. Fair value gap, pulse and block, order block, whatever you want to call it, the breaker. This is still pretty smooth. You go down to the 15 second. We just close the 15 second right there. That's still a pretty nice looking trade, not gonna lie. So this is a 15-second trade. Pulled back down, inversion. Now we got a fair value gap here. So let's see if this fair value gap wants to hold in this 15-second. I'm not taking this, by the way. I already took my win. I'm not trying to overtrade this. I usually catch in the low. But this is still, I would say this is an A setup. This is an A setup in my opinion. Solid move right here. Okay, we just took out that high. So if you're in this trade, you got to move it to break even. Oh my god, this is ripping, dude. Crazy. $15-second time frame. Holy shit. Wow, that was sexy. So you might have felt FOMO. Anybody could have felt FOMO from missing out on this trade here. And like not knowing where price is going to go, because I wouldn't know where price wanted to go after it hit this high. That's why I closed my trade when we got up in here. And it could have kept going longer, but I only had one contract on. But this easily, you easily could have waited for price action to really tell you it wanted to keep going higher. Shifted up again, bullish 2-minute closure. You know, order block. Simple, guys. Simple. Yeah, I wasn't trading that on my eval. I already had my win. I didn't want to overtrade it right now. This app later, I'll take it. I took this one on a paper account. It's fucking ripping too. I took this one on the paper. Holy shit. This thing's on fire right now. Because the other account I didn't take anything else on. I left it where it is. So I got another 3% to make on the account and then I pass it. Same with the other one I got. I'm up 17. So I got 2 of them that are about halfway. So I gotta just focus in on it. I'm not trying to overtrade. Like I could have just dropped 2 contracts on this and just past this right now. I could have, but I'm not trying to be like that. I don't want to overtrade it. There we go. Very nice. So if you're doing 20 points TP, that's my plan. TP is taken. And we're at the high right here, so that's a pretty solid move. Well, I'm gonna let that paper rip if it wants to just keep going. That's crazy. No, I got distracted. Easy money. Let's go. My guy, let's get it. No, I like doing these live streams. I'm definitely in focus a shit ton more. One of my flaws, I'm not perfect. One of my flaws is getting distracted pretty easily. There's just so much information out there. That's why I got the music on in the background too. It helps me stay focused, but man. I gotta finish recording this trade here. I didn't even finish with the setup. Like I was saying, I get distracted. So I'm gonna continue to save this. 30-second time frame. This is a 30-second entry. Here. So the buy happened right here. Man, where was this order flow last week, dude? Like, shit. This market is beautiful right now. Do I not? I don't have a 15-second. There we go. That should be safe. 15-second. Yeah, there we go. There we go. We're golden now. Alright, enough of this shit. Alright. Almost done here. Fucking beautiful moves, guys. Yo, so Carson, you took the second trade? So you got the sloppy seconds on the second trade? Right up here. It's a nice little move. That thing's probably gonna keep ripping too, honestly. Like, it did just take out the high. We'll see. But like, we pulled back into our discount. And we're overall bullish on the higher time frame, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what this market wants to do. Took out that 1 hour low, and now we're just ripping, dude. So we'll see. But if it just decides to consolidate right here, like it could just really just hang this range for like the rest of the AM session through lunch, and maybe it gets a pullback later. But right now, it's just saying it's bullish right now. So yeah, look at that 4 hour too. Holy shit. That's a bullish dildo candle for sure. Yeah, we get another hour and a half on this 4 hour. Oh no, that's 2 hour. My bad. Yeah. Well, 4 hours still bullish too. But yeah, this is looking good. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Let's get it. How's crypto doing? Probably getting its cheeks clapped like it should. I'm hoping for 32K. Down into this fair value gap down here. So we can play in Bitcoin's little fair value gap, and then we can just accumulate and then rip up, you know? So like, how far down is that? That's probably another 20%, but from where it peaked out, about a 35% drop. Maybe 40. We can go a little lower. But I'm excited. I'm excited for this bull run. It's just getting started. Come down, accumulate, and just, well, have it fall down, and then halvening happens, and then just massive God candles just ripping up over the next year and a half. That's what I'm looking for. Let's go. This thing's still ripping. Let's see this order flow real quick. Let's go to the big three. Let's go 32nd. Yeah, this thing's going, dude. This thing's on fire. This thing is on fire today. Man. Yo, who else is on this stream? I think it says there's 2. Who else is on here? Is that ICT? Is that you, buddy? I think Carson's on here. I bet you ICT's on here too. Yo, if that's ICT, any comments that he's on here? Probably shit my pants. What? Oh, there we go. Trying to get my things back on here. Damn it. Just trying to get these back on here. Beautiful buy setup. Beautiful. All right, sweet. Nothing else going on. Cut the low. Took it out. Within the range. I know it's early, but I'm probably going to call it quits here. I think I'm going to be done for the day. Well, at least the morning session. If there's another trade, cool, but I don't know if I'd want to take it at this point. Looking like we're going to short and come down below the lows again. But we took that little buy, which is pretty nice. Fair value gap. Let's see if this wants to short from here. If we want to get back up in this range and possibly use these up close candles to then resist price to send it back down below this swing low. Equal lows here. Below this low. Looks like we can go short, honestly. Let's see what we can get here. All right, let's get it. Got the swing high that's up within here. We have SMT at the highs. So now we want to watch to see if we come up into here and start rejecting these order blocks, or if we want to continue higher and bust through it, or if we want to continue and just sell off to these equal lows. Possibly down below here, giving us that power 3, but it might be later in the day instead of right in the morning. Like, trades don't have to happen right in the morning. I know I mentioned power 3 earlier, but that doesn't always need to happen. Now look at this trendline liquidity here on the 15-minute. All these lows here, and then you got these lows here, and then you got all this liquidity down here. And if we go to the 4-hour, let's go to the 1-hour here. We're in this fair value gap and we're rejecting it. We're not just busting through it. If we were going to go bullish, we'd want to see it just bust right through this and keep going higher. 15-minute pulling back on YM. So we got to monitor this YM low here. As long as that's not hit, we should possibly still look for shorts, but it all depends what price action gives us up within here. Unless we just want to inverse this and keep going long. But for me, there's nothing. Nothing personally yet. Probably gotta wait another 7 minutes anyway for the macro to start. Beautiful day. Beautiful winning day. Just slowing down now for me. The buy was nice down within here. Now we're just waiting. Just watching all these PD arrays, like how does price play out? I like how we're taking out the swing low and we're just inching higher with nice bullish closures. And we got to pay attention. Like, how are we going to keep playing these candles here? Look at YM. It's not really doing much. NQ hit the break even. Where was your entry? Was it... Ah, the market maker's watching you. Oh, man. Yeah. They're playing the old ICT, market maker's watching me. Well, Patrick just tweeted that too. He said he was going short or something, but he was actually long, and then it went and hit his TP. That shit was funny. He just tweeted that. I commented on it. Right here. I checked the market makers live on YouTube. I said, don't go up, please, while I was long. Oh, shit. That shit's funny. Must be the Matrix, dude. 17,682. Let's see. Oh, you got a good entry, too. On this leg up. Oh, man. Yeah, that's a good entry. Damn. You probably only had to risk it like here. Yeah, the market took out this swing high, dude, and then I said, fuck that. It generated all that liquidity right here. I'm still surprised it didn't just go up, though. Like, it looked like after hitting this low and then closing up above here, like this was going to keep going. But it didn't. Damn it. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I feel like it's like 50-50 territory now. We're up in this 1 hour gap. And same up here. And now we're like in this range here. Well, all these ranges. So we have external, and we have internal. It's like it could go either way at this point. That's just my opinion though. I don't really want to favor either side. I mean, just looking at this, it could just hit this fair value gap move, but it's hard because it took out this high. And like this is like balanced already. But we'll see. London high. Talking about these highs over here, because the London highs are down here. There's yesterday's high up there. Yeah, man, there might be another setup here soon. Give it another like 20 to 30 minutes. I'm just seeing the text now. Yeah, dude, it's hard. Like if you're in a trade like down here, it's just like hard because like once you take out the highs, it's hard to tell if we're gonna keep going higher or if we're gonna like pull back. Like I would have guessed it would have kept going higher because like the higher time frame on the 1 hour, the 30-minute, like this 30-minute just rejected so quick, and that 30-minute was so bullish. Like I would still expect it to go higher, but it's still like 50-50 after you take out a high. Like when we're in the middle of like this big ass range. Like it's not like over here. Like this range is very similar to like this range. And you see how we consolidated, we just ripped on up through. Or we consolidated, we were expecting it to rip on up through. Very similar. But it's like as soon as you take out, let's say it was this high here. Let me go down to lower time frame. Let's say it was that high there. Yeah, it was something similar to this. Where it came down and took out this high. So when it took out this high, it's either going to like pull back and keep going lower, or it's going to like keep order flow, which this one, it just kept going order flow up towards that high, but this one just didn't want to do that. Yeah, I'm like the opposite. I take profit too quick. Like that could have been a banger run for me. Like was that 580 here? So like let's just say this could have been a 3-to-1. 580 times 2. I mean, I could have made 1,100 on that trade, but I only made 580, so I could have made more. I could have taken it up to here. These highs, close to here. But it is what it is, man. It's not that big of a deal. I just closed it too early. But like 60 points is fat, though. But like, I'm happy with 27 points. I mean, like I was saying earlier, if I, was it like, I'm almost up 4% on this account within 2 days. And if I'm up 4% within 2 days, then that's not that, and like that's just based off of trading, like taking profit at 20 to 30 points. But like that's not holding to 60 points, which if I hold them all to 60 points, I'd probably be up like 8% or so. But not looking at it from that perspective, because I don't want to, I don't know, I just don't want to force myself to be greedy. I'd rather like take profits earlier. But like this is just like what I back tested, and this is what I trust. Even though I have back tested this setup where we go up to these highs and possibly up to these highs, which it did, and I have back tested that to the point where it works. Ah, shit, I just clicked off everything. But I don't know, I just feel like, just based on how like ICT taught it last year, was like I take profit at like the 20 points. Sometimes I go to like 30. It really depends on the setup and how many contracts I have on. Like I only had one contract on this, and that was probably about like a $350 to $400 risk. So I didn't want to risk more than that. But if it was like a better set, like I wouldn't say better setup. Let's say it was a smaller risk, like this 15-second inversion. That's a 7-point risk. This is like the one I took last Wednesday on a 15-second. I'll take 2 contracts on this. Okay, and then we'll go 23 points up to this take profit at the high. So I'll risk, I don't know, the same kind of thing, like $350, $400, whatever. And then you're taking profit up there, that's $800. So like, that's just how I'm looking at it. But like taking those 15 seconds get kind of fucking gnarly. They get crazy. All right, moving back lower. So we're taking out the lower low, high low. this is where I lose focus a little bit, but I'm also not looking for a trade anymore because this did pretty decent. And Jared talks about this in the book. Like, when you get bored, he's like, when you get bored, your mental game just, like, is 50-50. And you might think there's, like, no opportunities about to set up because it's, like, chopping around or liquidity's been taken. But that all relates back to, like, you knowing, like, oh, you know what's going to happen in the market. You know? And no one knows what's going to happen in the market because the setup can happen. So, like, when you're 50-50, you think you're not going to take a trade because market's choppy. It's basically putting your mental game on the back burner, and you're more susceptible to seeing a setup that you think is right, but you're not in complete A-game order flow. So, like, it's hard for you to even take advantage of a trade because you're just being distracted. Like, the market's choppy, so you get distracted, you get bored, and you don't think there's going to be a setup. And then there is a setup when you just peek at the chart, and it's like, oh, damn, I got to get in. So, like, for example, let's say I'm not paying attention to this chart. Oh, this looks like a short from this order block down to here. I might take it because, like, oh my God, like, I wasn't paying attention. I don't want to miss out on it because now that brings FOMO in. So your boredom leads to not being in sync with order flow. And then that leads to, oh my God, I'm going to miss out on this trade. And then that also leads to, like, you knowing, like, oh, I know what's going to happen next in the market, when that's a stupid thing to say or think. So yeah, that's just a little bit of sauce. I learned that last night when I was reading. I was like, holy shit, this boredom thing actually does apply to me. All right, I'm hopping off. I gotta get off here. Made my money today. I'm gonna go look for, I'm not gonna look for more entries, even though this is probably gonna keep playing out. Lower low, lower low. Hit a discount. Let's look at this 2 minute. We're above the mean threshold of that order block. 30-second here. We did not close up above it, so we can't take that trade. But I would monitor this order flow here. 15-second SMT wicks. I would monitor this order flow now to just keep ripping up on through here. I would say we're going to hit this high any second now. We tapped the high. Didn't go through it, which I wanted to see. So now we're going to hit it. Right now. Boom. Wow, it's almost like I knew it was going to happen there. But like I was saying earlier, you can never expect to know what's going to happen in the market. You got to sit from a probabilistic standpoint on what probabilities are in your way. Because if that lost, it's like, okay, whatever. Just wait on the next one. You know, that could just be a small scalp. You know, like, that's not even worth it, honestly. So like, let's look at this high here. It's based on a 30-second. Let's go to like a 1 second. So when that new 30-second open, which is right Time that new 30-second open rate at the 59. So right at the 59. The price was like right here. That's not even worth it to go hit that high. So just watching order flow and being observant. That's all you do. Well, yeah, I gotta get off. I got more money to make with the business, so happy with the trading session today. Not a financial advisor. I'm just some guy that likes to make these videos and shit. So, all right, take it easy, guys. Love y'all. Peace out.